Hello, we are so fucking back. Yes, sir. 2026. That's crazy. We're still doing this shit in 2026. Some say I'm getting too old for this streaming lark. Some say I never did it frequently enough to start with, so you know, could be worse. How's everyone doing? It's the new setup for sure. So I've just had a bit of a mare trying to do all of my shells for these fellas. Now they look banging, but yeah, we made about 8 holes in the wall which did not work correctly, and at the particular angle the light fitting I have is kind of shit for showing them, but hey ho, they're up. Pretty excited about the new setup. And yeah, we're gonna get into some frizz. So I did say, oh, something's happened. Oh, it's just the keyboard. I did say we'd discuss various yes. Hey Marie, greetings. So what I say, we said we talk off-season trials, indoors, and whatever we're feeling really. So get involved in the comments in the chat, and let me know what you want to discuss as we go. Otherwise I will just ramble as I do, and then we'll watch some frizz, and then you're rid of me for another week. But we'll see how we go. Off-season equals half marathon grind. Like that's actually legit. We've got a half marathon, myself and Emma have got a half marathon in what I think is like 6 weeks maybe. And as part of that, next week we're essentially running 21k is like in our training plan. So we're just gonna add on the extra like 100 meters at the end, because why wouldn't you? But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm just trying to see. Is Spotify super quiet? Can you guys like hear it at all? So it's okay for me. I'm trying to put a bit, just so there's a bit of background noise. But yeah, the grind is real. I'm actually enjoying it more than I've enjoyed like frisbee for a while, which is like first time you could ever hear me say that I enjoy cardio more than frizz. That's a bit wild. But yeah, hopefully when the season gets underway, I'll be more enthused by the frizz. But yeah, right now I'm just really enjoying running. People in the chat, let me know like what you think. Now the music's too loud. Okay, good to know. We'll find a balance. We always do. How's that? Is that better? I've removed myself from my own ears so I don't hear myself too much, but I need to find the right balance, don't I? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good. Who's winning the transfer window so far? I don't know who's playing with anyone next year, let's be real. I think there's always so much speculation, which is fun. Like Clapham normally do quite well. Space look like they're a pretty good place for in a good place rather for picking people up. And I think we at Reading might get a few like interesting picks and selections, but it depends on like, you know, Trials Row is interesting because it goes both ways. It's not just teams say come play for us, like they also have to be the right option for people. You know, you can turn up to trials and be like quite interested in playing for a particular team, and then you find that like they don't necessarily run a trial that inspires you, and then that's like you're kind of cooked. You're not gonna be able to entice those players. So yeah, it's a balance. Trials go both ways. But yeah, don't know, it'll be interesting. Obviously World's year, so I think those who win the off-season or win the trial period really will be those who are going to Worlds for the most part. But I think it's also interesting to see who's not going to Worlds themselves to retain their talent, because that is arguably a bigger win in a year where there's like whatever, what is it, 3 teams from open and 3 teams open and women going to Worlds, and then you've got 2 for mixed, I want to say, or is it 3 for mixed? 2 for mixed. 2 for mixed. Anyway, and then you've also got World Clubs as well. So like, there's just a lot to be playing for this year. But yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents, is that you can win it. You can win the transfer season if you just retain and just don't lose your players to Worlds teams. Rumors Lemmings might get a last minute spot. We said that about Spice. We said that about Spice as well, and it ended up being correct. So we'll see what happens. Exciting time. It'd be cool if they got a spot, you know. It would be cool. The problem, I guess, with last minute spots is you have a load of people who have like committed to other teams. So whether or not like they lose out on the transfer season because they didn't have a Worlds bid, and then later on they're like, oh, we do have one. So I hope in some ways that doesn't happen. I hope they have enough time to pull everyone together and they don't lose people to other teams and then find that they get a spot last minute, which kind of just like tanks them a bit. But we'll see. It's always an exciting year. I'm partially more excited about the next 2 years maybe than Worlds. We're only doing Masters. We're only doing World Clubs. We're not doing Masters as well. That's just like us in our house. But yeah, we will see what happens in the next 2 years after that. I might slip into some coaching ? Heard it here first. Yeah, but we'll see. Like, there's lots to decide between now and like whenever all that needs to be decided. And yeah, got a wedding to plan. So yeah, strength bids versus equal bids to knots. Is that specifically regarding indoors? I think it's a bit silly to have the team who is like 2-time defending champ, irrespective of their region being weak or otherwise. I think it is silly to not have them as top seed. I think they've earned it. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. I think like Con made up a good point when we talked about this earlier on, so I'm gonna drop him in at lol. He made a good point. Like, if you've got 4 regions and there's 8 teams in the tournament, why not just take 1 team from each region and just drop them in the opposite pool, and then like you sort of know every plays from regions. I think like whatever way it's worked out this year, you've got people who are like seeded like top 3 who didn't win Nats last year, but also like their region was weighted in a particular way that they got a seeding as well for the tournament higher than the people who like won it the last 2 years. So that doesn't really make any sense. And similarly, like if you have to fight for your life to like even get a bit at nationals, and then you find that you're like, you know, in the 5-8 kind of region, it's a bit weird. With Alba and Leeds bottom and open Nats, does North lose a bit to the south? Yeah, interesting. I kind of like having the equal split, because I think like there's enough teams in the North playing that even if they aren't like as strong at nationals, they are still like a big enough region with enough representation. Like it just kind of makes sense for them to retain their 4 spots. I think if it's happening like 2-3 years in a row, then you should look at it. But I think if it happens 1 year, it could just like that could just be that your 5-8 semi just like you shut the bed a bit, and then all of a sudden both teams do that, and you're in a situation where you lose bids. I don't think it makes any sense really. Is it just whoever you think are good at sides bids and seeding? I don't know. I think there is a bid document which I haven't read. But Joe, Manchester to Nats with new smog player yellow captaining. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool that like some of the local players are playing more locally. I think like regions will suffer without that happening. Obviously traveling players will always happen, especially in big regions where there's like fewer teams. I do think like it feels like there's scope for some of the teams who have been a bit quieter in the last few years, maybe due to like, I'm not like having a dig at Smog, but like they have taken players from like a big broad region. It feels like some of the teams where people have come from, or some of the regions people have come from, are starting to get more development going again. So like Sheffield last year was it their first time at Nats in however long, or maybe ever, and they came top 4. That was sick. So like shout out like, you know, the players who played with them last year who could easily have made other more like traditionally more competitive teams. It's cool that Yellow's doing it with Manchester and a few others as well. See Jack, thanks for dropping in. The 5-8 bracket isn't fun at nationals. Yeah, I mean, agreed. Yeah. Hey Dom. Yeah, I agree. I haven't played in it, but I would say I wouldn't enjoy. I'd be in a bit of a mood. Yeah, fun fact, I've since moving to the UK, whenever I've played nationals, I've made top 4 a lot. So mild flex. I think one of the other things that people probably want to discuss, humble brag, yeah, legit though. I think one of the other things that we should probably discuss is like, especially in the topic of indoors, is talking about like paying for players to join your teams. And like I've had chats with some of the people on A+. I figure I may as well say here what I said to them. Like I don't really hide away from it. I don't agree with it. I have seen the statement that they put out. But if I can find it, I will loosely go through the various bits that I discussed. Give me a sec. Just gonna try and find it if I can. Yeah, but yeah, I guess like my broad take on it. Yeah, okay, here we go. I think like, yeah, my broad take on it is the following. I think if you're pulling people in to try and win it, I'm a bit like lame. long story short, I think like for fun tournaments like London Invite, like Windmill, like Tom's, all that kind of stuff, like they're just like fun tournaments, and like there's a lot of scope for people to like throw together fun teams for that stuff. I think for a national championship, especially in a developed country like the UK, or at least developed relative to some others, I think that like it should be for the people within that community. Like, what's to stop me? And the answer is nothing. But what's to stop me saying, I'll take a bid from regionals at mixed with Reading, for example, and then as captain cut everyone and fly over all my Irish mixed mates from previous years, and it's like the top end of Ranelagh is the top end of Gravity, is the top end of Flame, and then we just go and absolutely dunk on everyone, because Loki probably would. And I think that is a slippery slope where people just start kind of taking bids and opportunities away from people who actually contribute to the community here. Is it different to Europeans picking up at US Nats, even if they help with accommodation costs, etc.? I think for the most part, the people who play at US Nats like are involved in a bigger part of the season than just flying over for the tournament. Some of them, of course, do, but like, I think it's still like similar principle that like if you're just gonna fly in for the weekend, then kind of like it's a bit weird to me. I think if you're a previous member of that community, so for example Molly playing Sixers, for example, I think like she's played in that community before, and I think that makes more sense than say if like Toba just flew over for the weekend, didn't actually contribute otherwise. Like he has otherwise contributed to that community. I think he's fine to pick up because he plays quite a bit. I think the problem I see with it is that like we're playing an amateur sport and it's a national championship event, which in my eyes should be for the members of that community who have earned the right to compete at that event. I acknowledge some nations are growing and treat nationals a little differently, but for me, like, I think it's a privilege earned to compete at national championship. And as soon as those who can afford to start paying for people to fly in for our championships, it doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't make sense to call it an amateur sport anymore. It's then a semi-pro or a pro event to me, which isn't what people signed up for. And as I said, like you can do that at fun tournaments. I think like indoors isn't really high on people's radars, but given our playing nation doesn't put much stock in indoors at beach, like these events are ones that like people feel they can actually kind of win that, and like outside of being on Clapham, for example, who are you like more guaranteed. Like even the top of the women's and mixed divisions, like you probably can't go into those tournaments and like feel 100% confident you're gonna win. So Clapham's kind of your only surefire bet. So if you're then playing open and these American dudes are getting flown in, it's a bit weird. Like it's your only chance maybe to like win a nationals that year unless you manage to beat Clapham, which has only happened at nationals once in like 24 years, 25 years. I feel like pressure is a privilege and getting to play games that matter is a privilege, even if it's indoors or beach. Yeah, that's kind of my thinking about it. I think like, you know, there's a lot of talented players who never get to win the tournaments they want to or achieve some of the things they want to in sport. And it's not made any easier than if you just start flying other people in. And like, you know, whilst the post that went out about it said, while the post went out about it said like there was just like a couple of bits shared in terms of costs, I've heard from other people on the squad that everyone's having their player fees paid, and I've heard from someone else who was chatting to one of the people flying over that a lot more than just like a help of cost was covered. Like there's a lot of things being covered, and if this was like a professional setting, in terms of like if this was like a corporate setting, anything over £100 is considered potential for a bribe. Now obviously it's frisbee, it's amateur frisbee, but you just need to be careful with some of that stuff. That, yeah. Kins got cooked by some Chevy Boys Elite, so not sure he's going to be able to do it on a sweaty day in Coventry. Hell yeah. Sweaty rainy day, yeah, but I mean definitely sweaty. But if it's rainy, I don't think that matters. I mean, I have heard that whole leaks. So, I'm one of the first ones to say that I'm one of the first ones to say that I think the Little Fish Monster is probably going to win it again. I think the American dudes are probably not ready for them. It rains sweat, hell yeah, that's grim. I've never played Alan Higgs, and yeah, I don't want to. Now that I hear that, but yeah, fair enough. Easy back to back for the fishes. Yeah, that feels like the word on the street. Word on the street is the boys are gonna get it done. And fair play to them if they do, you know. 1 sec, someone's asked for an update on my setup. Yep, cheeky selfie for the stream. Hey, unreal. Love that. They have to beat the first seed first. Sheesh. Okay. It's pretty loose here. From Jacko in chat. Right. Bosh. Done. Okay. I mean, I've yapped for a bit. Shall we yap beach? Or I guess indoors, European indoors just happened as well, didn't it? Thought it was a good showing from the GB teams. Bit of a shame that only one came back with a medal. I thought the Open boys were gonna do it. It was a shame. It was a little lack of composure for a short period against Slovakia, and Slovakians took the win in the quarter. But I thought the Open boys were looking strong, which is, yeah, as I say, a real shame. I was sad. I was sad on their behalf. They gave it a good run. People are sad for sure. But yeah, no, it was fun to watch. There was a good shift put in. I especially enjoyed some of the mixed stuff as well. Me being a mixed player myself, it was sad to see HT got injured though. I think they missed her quite a bit in the in the final. Seeding versus results for open div is quite fun, in my opinion. Yeah, it was something like none of the previous podium finishers finished on the podium this time, or made semis this time, which is cool. It shows that, like, at least where indoors is concerned, that like Europe's pretty like competitive in that sense. But like it's also interesting too. Like I think there's quite a few teams who like don't necessarily feature. Like Italy didn't feature, right? And France, like there's a few others who just like don't necessarily, or maybe they did. I didn't pay enough attention. Is it just which teams send their strongest roster? I think there's also there's a culture piece. So like the Slovakians, the Estonians, the Latvians when Arvids plays, lol. And like a few of the other nations, like they have a like really strong indoor scene because they play a lot during the winter when the rest of us still kind of go outside like Egypt. Like if you think about the majority of sessions people play in the off season, it probably is still all outdoors with the occasional indoors tournament, and then some people obviously like take the winter off except for indoors, so they play like 2 weekends in their off season. Italy would be mid, maybe. I think they're like really bloody athletic though, hey, so I think there's potential there for them to be like actually really fucking good. And their like small ball game is very, very strong. So I think they'd be very fast and very hard to stop actually, but it'd be interesting. They're like there are a ton of short kings at the end of the day, except for like Pavan and Barzazi. But yeah. But yeah, like it was fun to watch. I think I much prefer the new player that EUF have gone with rather than the one from Solid Sport last year. Thank God we're not using Solid Sport again. I think Flying Orion, yeah, hell yeah, he's a big boy. He's like too big for that pitch, let me tell you. What was I saying? I'm a bit dumb, can't remember. Was mid flight too. Tee. Anyone remind me? What was I saying before I said Flying Orion? That's pretty tragic. It's pretty tragic. Okay, well, to that end, yapping or something, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, filler. It's all just filler. Let's move on. We'll look at some beach frizz, shall we? Because that's essentially like covered our whole agenda. We covered off season and trials, indoors, and then whatever. So unless there's additional faff people want to chat, we can chat. Beach and such. I really enjoyed beach, you know. I got sick on the Thursday, so by the Saturday when finals came, I was like watching from bed. I was quite unwell. But I had a really good time. I could not recommend more just like going to watch tournaments if you're into just watching frizz, because I've been loving it the last few years. I went to Windmill a few times just kind of watch. A few like world championships now. I've done 23s, I've done beach, I've done worlds in Australia. You can include Euros considering I didn't play most of Euros in 2023. But that was a little bit more of a sad watch, won't lie. Tell us who you're playing for next season, Hoagie. I'm only trialing for Reading next year, so where's the Reading exclusive Hoagie bomb? No, I'm only trialing Reading next year, so if I get cut by my housemate, then you know that would be sad. But yeah, that's the only place I'm trialing, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Cut by fiance is crazy. Yeah, legit. Yeah, we don't use fiance. Fiance is a bit like, it's a bit too formal. We stick with housemate. And now currently my only housemate, because Nads has moved out. So yeah, we've had to deal with that this week. It's very sad. Yeah. But you know, she'll be back. She probably won't be. Let's be real. Oh, something's happening. Okay, need that to happen less. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Beach is banging. If you haven't been to that venue, it's class. So they basically just take over the entire bloody beach. And what I didn't realize was that there's like a boardwalk basically on beach level, so that you can basically just like walk along the board all the way past like 20 plus pitches. And I thought that was sick for someone who like expects to do a lot of walking around, like running between games and stuff for the whole week. I thought that was epic because it meant that like I didn't have to just walk on sand the whole time. My legs would have been in bits. I haven't touched editing at all since I came back, which is like probably not the smartest. I have such a backlog. But I'm gonna maybe get through some this weekend. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games done currently. Most of them are GB women. But I've want to say I have like 20 plus games that need to come out. So over the next however long, I will work through those and we'll do streams and we'll get stuff out. I was also considering, and like, let me know in chat if you think this would be fun or not, but like it might just be a faster way of getting content out to people. But if I did like a live editing session, so essentially we'd watch the game, but I'd like, it'll all be raw, and then I'd just like clip it as we go, and I'd like edit it and put on the score and all the rest as we go, so like you can see that process. But we could try that maybe next week, and if that doesn't land well with people, then we can just bin it, lol. But yeah, let me know if that would go down well. It might just be interesting for some folk as well, because I know like Jack, for example, he's pretty keen on like doing more with editing, so it might be useful for him to kind of see that process as well. And yeah, if you want to support the stream, then please consider, I think everyone here is already a follower, but consider a subscribe. It help fund the streams. But also I think that the best thing you can actually kind of do at the moment is go and follow my YouTube account or subscribe to the YouTube account, because that way I grow the following there and I can hopefully monetize that account, because I've been doing content on that account for like 14 years and I still don't have the right number of people to monetize it. So yeah, maybe we could give Jack a how to edit for dummies walkthrough. Do you know what, I've offered that and he's pretty down, we just haven't found time to do it. So we will definitely do that at some point. Yes. Cool. Right, let's bin the music because we're gonna watch stream, and then I need to go. Right, I'm only using one screen tonight, which is a folly, but new setups I've not necessarily just yet. So we're gonna watch 2 games, and if you don't like them, that's a real shame. The first is gonna be open, so it's gonna be Ireland versus Finland, and then the second will be Canada versus GB in the women's. Or we could potentially look at a different game because that was actually quite windy. But yeah, we could take a gander. Anyway, Ireland, Finland. Let's give it a roll. And then like naturally, if we've got the volume of this wrong by any means, like do please just like give me a shout. I like to have a little bit of the background on the go, as in like you can hear what's going on. Oh goodness, what is the string quality? 360, that's crazy. Oh, that's already better. Okay, good. Yeah, let me know on the audio side if it's a bit heavier or not. So this is a fun game. I wasn't actually gonna watch this game, and then the Irish boys asked me if I wouldn't mind watching it for them. So this was one of a few games of theirs I got this week, maybe it was just one of 2, perhaps. I actually can't remember what games I have. It's been a while. Poor Ferds, I'd say he was like barely hanging together by the end of the week. He just kept on taking hits. Ugh, the lefty. Reading Rory, Beach Goat. I would say not Beach Goat, but he's pretty good. Tell you who the real goat was. Boy, Davide. Playing this last ever tournament for Italy. Reading Rory, Beach Goat. That's crazy. Smurf Beach Goat. I mean, that is how he did his shoulder, so maybe not. I think these Irish boys were like injury heavy generally throughout the week, unfortunately. So, well, as the kids would say, a shame. Whoa. I traded with that number 11 at Masters. I have myself a delightful dark blue or navy jersey. Their white looks like Christmas. Some funny looking grips there from Koss. Ultimately throws your traditional backhand. Hooker. I love that. The pick, but then when he catches up, he's still like 20 meters away. That's a lovely shot. Little sitter. Tasty. Tell you he's not the beat goat. Beach goat is not someone who bricks 2 yards outside their end zone. And yet they bricked it. Crazy. Couldn't be me. Oh, I was looking at a funny message from earlier. That was a one pass shot, wasn't it? I don't love the edge on that. And I don't love the lack of bid. Come on, Stidge. Get off your feet, mate. I enjoyed that from Smurf. Just like the 2 hands, like, would you bloody go up inside? You ease it. That's nice. Shane could be the beach goat. Oh. Not that Shane, though. I meant Shane Corkin, as much as that was a good catch from Shane Keenan. Oh, or is it Puss? Is it Granty? Is he the beach goat? So far he is 0. Shane is good on every surface, man. Which Shane? Corkin or Keenan? Tell you what, Shane Keenan is not shaky. Savage. Shaky's fast on every surface. Shane Corkin is just bloody fucking good at frizz though, yeah. Yeah. I was trying a lot more while at beach to like be quite zoomed in with my content. But as you can tell, I didn't always achieve that. I was just trying to get like a bit more kind of Nathan style content. But he is the GOAT for a reason. And that reason is he spent like an obscene amount of cash on his cameras. And also he knows what he's doing. Whereas I have done neither of those things, i.e. not spent an obscene amount of cash and have not spent time to learn what I'm doing. Oh, how's it got faked out? Ooh. I was interested to see how many of this crew were like Masters players. Like played a lot of them when we went to London in June or July, whenever that was. But yeah, a lot of them over 33. Whereas on the flip side, I'm not sure there's many of the Irish boys who are Masters eligible. Is Granty the only one, maybe? Oof. I wasn't quite sure why the spike came, I won't lie. It didn't feel like it was that sort of game just yet. but he might have been a bit raging because he conceded the last one. Yeah. So interesting rule there, which a lot of people seem to get wrong. If you have a pull that lands in bounds and rolls out either the side or the back of the end zone, you have to bring it to the front. But at any other time during open play, you can choose to take it from where it went OB. But yeah, a lot of people feel like they have to take it from. So he got that between his legs. He kind of did, didn't he? Boop. I think he has it out with his left hand before he hits the ground. That's a bit of crack. Fair play to him. Yeah, obviously the difference then being that if you touch it, obviously you have to play it from where it goes out, but if it's untouched. Would you hold the force, would you? Ben runs quick there. Obviously, 2023 playing beach was where Smurf did his shoulder. That was playing in my brain. I'm sure it was in his as well. Throughout the games I watched them. Ooh, very bobbly. Could do with at least one more rotation, I'd say. Isn't it mad that used to be a rule that like the disc, if you're throwing a pass, like it had to go at least one rotation? Like how has anyone else checked that in real time? Do you know what I mean? Like one rotation's actually not that hard, like unless you literally just like drop it into someone else's hand. Carl forgetting these are small pitches. He's thrown that literally as hard as he possibly could. Which I reference here.
Carl unfortunately forgot he was down and threw that into a different fucking country.
Legit though. Like at a minimum different postcode for sure. Maybe next week we'll if we don't do like editing session, we could do a session where like we look at some of the US slot play. There was one player in particular who just for me was like absolutely untouchable all week, and if they didn't have him, it just wouldn't have been as easy for them. And that was Adkins. Adkins is absolutely fucking absurd. He was just like absolutely untouchable. Easily the best player I saw all week across any division of any gender, or gender match at least. So if you get a chance to watch any of that on Ulti World, I would recommend. And yeah, as I say, like I also have a couple other games, so we could watch them. But yeah, it's just a bit unfair. Like, it just moved so different. And I think there was times as well where that was last good from Taj. There was times as well where if he wasn't on the pitch, everyone should be asking, where is he? But there was also times where he's on the pitch, people turning over, and I'd just be like, nah, just like give this dude the rock. Like he's all about it. He's all about just scoring goals for you. This may be the first multi-turn for both teams point, and I call that drop in real time. But they called frisbee goal. Yeah, I call myself out pretty quick. Wow, they're pulling my shite in this game. Goodness. The crossfield hook there from Smurf. Laser. Oh. He was unwell.
I wasn't necessarily the cleanest play, so I'd be pretty annoyed if I was in goal.
Yeah, he was fuming.
I
I can't remember. He told me at the time what had happened. He heard a big crack. I think I can't remember if it was toe or ankle or what or foot. If I was Smurf, I too would laugh at that. That was crazy. But yeah, he heard a big crack and he thought he was cooked. And I think he was fine to play on, but he was just a bit worried about it, which I think is understandable. Delish. But I don't quite understand is what this lad was up to. Oh, he's face marking. Right, as Smurf goes up line. It's a bit weird. Guess if I was more zoomed out, I'd have seen proper what happened, lad. Yeet. Bit. Oh. Also bit. Delish. Carl opting to keep that one in bounds. Good man. That was pure taste. Oh, I did forget about that. That's real sad from Ro. That throw deserved the catch, let me tell you. Ooh. I'm not sure they had the force right there, you know? There's a lot of open to backhand side passes. Rip. With the break. That's crazy. Oh, Fred is back. Looking a little ginger in the step though. Le foul. How good are these mint jockeys though? The lads were saying like when they were doing their order, they like made a team decision that they'd go with the mint, and when they then like saw them, they were a bit like, "Ah, we fucked this. These are shite." And then when they got to the beach, they were like, "Actually, no, given the surroundings, he's absolutely slab." But yeah, I'm not sure what the. I'm pretty sure that the kit rules now. Not that anyone fucking follows them, but like the kit rules suggest that I think if you're gonna wear trackies, everyone should be wearing the same ones. So it seems like Fred is doing a naughty here, but sure, who's gonna tell him? I certainly don't give a fuck. Because I think like there's also a rule that everyone's meant to wear the same hat. If you're gonna wear hats, that sort of stuff, which I think just like a bit of nonsense. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? If we're worrying about people wearing hats that are different. Shitbags. My laptop's gonna run out of juice. That's the one I'm using for the chat. Let me see. Cool. Well, I have requested the charger. Seems like any shot going to that sideline is just fucking tough. It was a proper windy week. Yeah, proper windy week. And I think like these first few days was especially bad. There was a game between two of the women's teams I went watching because GB were gonna play them later on in the week. And it was between Austria and Belgium. And I said to Emma about 15 minutes into the game, I said, "Could I leave? Because this is some of the worst frisbee I've ever seen." And she said, "Oh, okay, fine, don't worry about it." because I think it was 5-0 to Belgium, I want to say. And Austria completed like total of max 3 passes in a row total at any point. And when I left, the game all of a sudden became really fucking good. And I don't quite understand what happened because genuinely both teams were rubbish at the start. And I said to Emmy, you have nothing to worry about here from either of these teams. And then both teams ran GB to like universe. Hello. Thank you. Ooh, pulling everything out now. Oh, disappearing. BRB. Oh, I missed everything. Jesus. Gina was just up to bits in that point, hey? And then Taj. Toe in the line. Look how good this toe is. Oh. Perfection. I personally could not pull off such a play. Nah. So he's right to do it. I won't hear any feedback to the contrary. Yeah, banging bit of footwork, bit of twinkle toes there, you know. Me shitting a brick there, thinking he was gonna ruin my setup in game 1. 11 out of 10 necessary, per chance. Oof. I think it was at this point Rowe decided he was cooked. Hello, Jibs. Ooh. That was a nice little shot, that. He's fuming. It's okay, it didn't happen right in front of me or nothing. It might have. Woof. Yeah. Straight out of his hand. Why is my name Justin Fan? Huh? It's not. I'm confused. What have I missed? Is this one of these? Is this like a D's nuts joke? Like, I loved the 2 lads falling over there in unison. So good. Oh, you gotta catch those, Chief. Good flow here. Oh, it's all stopped. Is Rory gone for a walk there after that fake? Faked once. Oh no. He didn't go for a walk. I'm not sure he was in bounds though. Oh. Nicer. Reaction from stage. He's fuming. Correct call there from Murray. Oh, that's crazy. Because on mine, very different. That's so funny though. Oh yeah, I did remember this. For just the second time for reasons unknown. Did Steege have a spike? Again, not a contentious game. The Finns are a lovely bunch. But sure luck. Brad just didn't like playing defense, I guess. It's a nice pull. Chat, is anyone else able to see what Derbs' name is there? Is it coming up as it's Derbs or is it coming up as, and I quote, Justin Fan 4373044454? And I repeat, Justin Fan 4373044454. I can't remember. Am I right in saying the game is just a 13? Oh, the preemptive bid. The preemptive bid, which then faked me out. Marisol, banging restaurant if you find yourself in the area.
11-7 here. And
Great coffee. Actually, the best coffee I'd say on the beach.
and again to 12.
Oh, I should have gone.
Here, please. Thanks.
This is the thing as well. I appreciate like I don't have it like reserved space at any of these games or on the beach or anything like that. But people are so fucking dumb. Like all week, people are like, I'm just gonna hug the perimeter of the pitch and just walk in front of videographers and Fiore, absolute legend. I'm gonna walk in front of videographers and I'm gonna walk in front of photographers, and it's just a load of fucking nonsense. Like, what are you doing? Like, anyway, right. So we have a few options here. We can watch GB Belgium, GB Australia. We can watch GB Turkey. Wouldn't recommend it. It's an absolute blur. GB Japan, very windy, I think. GB Germany, GB Canada. I had the Canada game open, but we don't need to watch it. It was quite windy. What does anyone care to watch? Make your votes now. You've got Belgium, Australia, Turkey, Japan, Germany, Canada. Don't watch me, I have PTSD. Okay. But you won that game, at least. Watch Jerbs. We could watch Jerbs, you know. To be honest, I did about -9 things the Belgian game. Yeah, that sounds about right. That game was so weird to watch, won't lie. Alright. If no one has any other preferences, maybe watch Japan. I can't remember which of these are good. I think they're all good, to be fair, but right, where we go? Let's GB. Okay, fine. Let's go. So this was on one of 2 pitches which had a different orientation. I think it was one of 2 or maybe one of 3 pitches which had a different orientation to the rest of the tournament. And yeah, that was who's number 7. Plays for Smog. I'm drawing a blank. Dibs.
Goodness gracious.
He's a legend, but I can't remember his name. Ian gets a very funny catch in this game. He might do. That could well be true. Here's Dibs. The panic is high. Oh, and the bailout is true.
That's bad, Lonnie.
Leduc on force. Doing a solid bottle job at the weekend. Teehee. The fishmonger, yeah. Pottermore. Oh no. Should have fit on the first pass. Per chance. Oh, good wheels there, Derbs. Lesad. When beach is so funny, like you kind of half assume that the pitch will be at least flat. Like it's going to be bumpy because of everyone running in it. But like when you see the right hand side, you can see this like just massive dip off the right of the pitch. Quite humor. Le pick. Maria the goat. So much space. Yes, ma'am. Ugh. Backside grab is rough. Aim with the spike. Bosh. Loves the spike. I also feel like if you're going to spike it and then immediately pick it up again, it kind of devalues the spike. Andy with the block. Forgot he's playing now. Low black. Ooh. Do you know what? That was gave me no confidence she hadn't just thrown that straight over his head, but the wind then just... Like, what is that angle at? What's this? Like, throws it straight up, which is like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. And when he's catching it, it's already like... Bleh, bleh. Disgusting. That's filth. Not good filth. You're serving in that GB kit, you say? It gets well spicy. I think it does get a bit spicy, yeah. It does indeed. If you're just joining us, hello, hello. Good to see you. You've missed all sorts of stuff. Had good chats at the beginning of the stream about all sorts of stuff. And then we watched Ireland versus Finland Open. I don't think I've ever watched this frame by frame, but now everyone gets to do it together. What fun. Brune saying he got clipped. Well, he might well have got clipped. I don't know. What do we reckon? We're saying clipped or dropped. Carmel the bosher. Yeah, huge bosher. Using the truck stick. Oh, you know what? If he, like, as a lefty, if he wanted to throw an assist there, he should have just thrown an assist. I think it's interesting you said that dropped. Oh, lol. Okay, fine. I think it's interesting you said that this game got spicy at the end. I think it got pretty spicy pretty early on. I think there's a few hotheads on this Belgian team.
The message from the leadership has been very much so like, we're very good, so believe that. But
Brune, you're good? Hell yeah.
Yes. So like, you know, celebrate with gusto, but don't get ahead of ourselves. But we can win this if we, you know, just do the stuff. What I love is
Jeez, Jamie's fucking long, isn't he? Oh, it's a pain in the bum when they just keep playing around the back. It's nice Scooby, you know? Yeah, there's just a lot of quick movement there. No one's holding the disc for too long. It's pretty decent. Brother of Lander and Toby on the force there. Good shit. I like the idea of just going straight back there. No need to try and force something going forward.
Yeah, Beck's probably good. I wouldn't say she's one of the young ones though. Yeah, no, that's fair. She'd love that you called her young though.
That's a nice shot. I was thinking I would throw, as a lefty, I would throw the high release inside. But it makes that sit really nicely, you know. Especially when the force is already quite around. Maybe not that far around, actually. Maybe they were looking at the inside. But that's just delightful. Oh, yeah. A shotgun. Belgium are good, to be fair. The movement was better than us. Yeah. Probably true.
I think I need to ask for less milk, generally. Like, stop getting lattes and getting something else. Because every coffee I've had so far has been very...
That's a good pull.
Heavy. And, like, it's almost like, you know, they're drizzling the coffee on for a bit of flavour, but it is just milk. Oh.
I was giving out about the local coffee. I was saying that most of the coffees seem to be like, if you ask for a latte, for example, it's going to be like 99% milk. And in fact, actually, the final 1%, which should be the coffee, is probably also coffee flavored milk. It's pretty grim. Thank you, Z. Yeah, I know, Z. Wasn't the only reason I said it, but it certainly helped it was you that I said it. He's touched it.
Even though they came 5th 2 years ago. So I think that got flagged and everyone was like, this doesn't make sense. So Spain got moved and Australia got moved into the group. And I think Australia are not...
Can't do much. Can't do much hooking that week. I miss Beach Bros so much. I miss eating egg tarts. Which are the egg tarts? Oh, it kind of felt like, given how quickly that person blocked it, it kind of felt like he was always there, right? Yeah. I mean, he doesn't even bid. He just kind of like falls into that. Cam scored so many goals. Yeah, I know he scored goals, but like, does he hook? And could I interest him in hooking? Too long didn't read. Probs could have helped the open team out a lot. Jeez. Yeah, but he doesn't play in London specifically for Clapham, so you know. Brune could never make a mistake, Huggy. Don't be ridiculous. Oh, I didn't suggest he made a mistake. I'm saying the defense. I played him. No, it was definitely a mistake. I'll lie. That's a nice shot from Jack. Wasn't trying too hard to throw it. Just let it happen. Maybe I'm like, I don't know, an elitist kind of purist vibe to my commentary. But like, and this isn't me having a dig necessarily, it's just a comment that I think like peak caps and visors are acceptable as they are accepted in most other sports. But like bucket hats and cowboy hats and all the other variations of summer hats we see while people are playing irk me. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that's an unfair take. Oof. It's a good bit all around. But yeah. I'm not saying like I'm not having a dig there at Lisa, for example, but like seeing her wearing the bucket hat, I'm just like, ugh, I just what's it the kids say? It's an ick. See, my ick is actually people using phrases that were popularized by Love Island, so I refuse to say ick. So, yeah, but I do believe that is what the kids would describe it as.
So I guess the season's over, so how do they enjoy the spy season?
The whack. Yeah, I guess. Do you know what? She's not far off that. I feel like if she saw it earlier, if she thought it would come over the other shoulder, then maybe. She's what? Yeah, she'd step off that. Entering Unk territory with that comment? Yeah, legit though. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, dude, like I'm 35 this year. Like I'm definitely in Unk territory for sure. Does anyone have any hot takes, just generally, about Frizz in chat? I would love to air and discuss your hot takes. And like, you could do it. You could, you know, just say something for not necessarily the rage bait, but you could certainly say something for content, or you could say something that was a good grab. Or you could just say something for conversation. You don't have to actually believe your hot take, but it would just be interesting to see what people come up with. What I enjoy here is where like, and this happened to me before, where one person is like hella fucking fired up, wants to win the game, and everyone else just fucking gassed. So he spikes it. Lanny's put her head down, is walking away. Potter's about to get in conversation with this player, and James just like, I approve of the goal. And there's just no reaction for Tate. Like, it's just, he's looking around for anyone to give him some energy back, and everyone's like, yeah, nah. Not a hot take, but let's go back to Ultra Stars, to be honest. So, I actually had a different mindset on this last year. Because the UCS series has kind of cooked the Tour series, and everyone's playing UCS rather than Tour, and like, we're not playing that many local tournaments anymore. Like, there is a world where once the current partnership between Discraft and UKU ends, they should just sign on with Eurostar or whoever, Eurodisc. And the reason I say it, because I've never really been huge on the Eurodiscs when our national championships are played with Discraft. The reason I say it is we now at the top end of, like, the elite end of the club scene in the UK play 2 to 3 tournaments before Europeans, and if you're lucky enough to qualify for Euros, you've then played like 4 tournaments maybe that year. You then play, that's actually proper memes. So Potter gets grid block here, and then Jamie jumps and then just Lance guys it. He's so old. But yeah, so like there's a world where like next year I play 7 tournaments in the entire year, and only 2 of them I actually have to use Discraft for. The rest will be Eurodisc. Eurodiscs are just so different depending on the mode you have though, and that fucks things up. Everyone should force them deep on beach. I 100% agree. I think everyone should force deep by default. I'll come back to that. Eurodisc. So, do you think that they like vary like disc to disc in Eurodisc, or like if there's like, I don't know, if it like batches almost? So like my batch of discs for like say a Reading order, like do you think it will differ that much from like say a Bristol order, or do you think like there's actually different molds? They have more molds, I think. So yeah, batches can be very different. Oh, interesting. Okay. The other thing I'd say too is that like when you get like a stack of discs, or if like you have like a kit bag like Reading has, and you just have a shit ton of discs that are just kind of like rammed in there, like without really like throwing them or like hitting the deck or anything like that. Like a lot of them just get warped, and that just really fucks me off. Just like, I really struggle going to training and finding that like the disc bag is just full of warped discs, because it means that we end up training with warped discs, and like pulls don't fly right and hooks don't fly right and unders don't bloody fly right. And this might be a real like old man problem, but yeah. Anyway, coming back to Joe's point, everyone should force deep on beach. I think everyone should force deep generally, right? Because I think like if your defense is good enough and that you can play tight on people, then you should be able to put pressure on hooks regardless. And that kind of like my approach at the start of a game will always be force them deep and make them prove that they complete hooks before we take them away. Okay, so like if they can only shoot because you're taking all the unders and they keep overthrowing or like underthrowing their hooks and you get blocks on them, then like why ever just take away unders? Just like force them deep the whole time. Or sorry, why ever take away deeps? Why push them towards the disc? Just like force under the whole time. Unless it's like aggressively windy, like really hard to like complete even unders, because then I will stand back shoulder and I will push people to the disc and then just contest unders. It's not scrap as well. Your biggest pet peeve is when people throw a really bad turnover and blame it on your disc. I'm actually like, I wouldn't say it's my biggest pet peeve. I would say that you are targeting Dom. And I would say it's quite funny when people are like, you're a disc. Like, I will say it if I genuinely believe that like my hook flattened out in a weird way, or like didn't actually flip over or whatever. That is a very tasty throw, something that I myself would quite enjoy throwing myself. Yeah. Hopefully I do a replay without the scoreboard in the way. No, I did not. That's a real shame. Sorry guys. Might make the scoreboard smaller going forward.
Okay, great.
We had like it was actually kind of sick. I had in like an hour, I had like 30 different people message me with
Oh, okay,
like
nice.
links and directions.
James, you just need to like
Pretty good.
clip someone here. Ooh.
Oh,
Oh,
we'll take that.
delish.
I don't mind.
Right.
It's
If anyone's just joining us, hello, hello. But also, we're sharing hot takes, which I will then discuss. Labosh.
She was very good. Yeah, no, that much for sure is true.
Did you catch that? Nope.
so I'm like
Another lefty.
it would be
It's a great little flow here going. Well, I quite enjoy this. I think at this point, it had maybe been like the second game, or maybe... Yeah, I think it was the second time I'd watched TV Mix. And this was like the second time Jamie did this. So listen after he releases this. Releases it and then immediately is like left, 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 left. And I won't lie, I've been there, but I think it was quite funny that like he did it twice. And maybe it was in the same day. I'm not sure it was the same game, but it was definitely the same day. Sully is like Sergio Aguero on Beach. Explain yourself. What does that mean? And are we talking about prime Sergio Aguero, or are we talking like current?
Thing is, my camera's not as good as yours, and I'm not as good as you, so it's just not the same. So yeah,
An elite pulled field.
it's basically as I was before, just slightly closer crop.
This was me chatting to Nate Kolakovic, trying to get or no, he told me how to say his name correctly. Kolakovic. Yeah. It was me chatting to him about like how I was trying to do more close-up content, and he was like, yeah, so you basically just need to like get a little bit closer and then a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and just like if you miss stuff because you're too close, no one will ever know because you're never going to publish that. And I was like, oh, you're so smart. That makes total sense. Enormous pick immediately. Yeah. Bruno's like Messi though. Bosh. Then who's like Suarez? Are we saying Jack is like Suarez?
Oh goodness, what's the force?
Jack's like Suarez in that like he is phenomenal, but he could bite you. You know? I don't respect the lack of a bid. Need a bid, Chief. It's not going to hurt his speech. Woof. Do you know who was proper good, actually, and impressed me for the whole season was Christian. It's probably the best. Like, that's, you know, probably the season I think he's played his best for his was last year. I spent the first like season or two of SendIt just like absolutely rinsing him with Connor because he was traveling so much and then being aggressively offside on his pulls to the point that he stopped watching. But I do actually think he played like a phenomenal bit of Frizz last year. Smash D goat, you know what I mean? Could be any of the Jack H's. He still does travel like a motherfucker. Lol. I mean, yeah, there was a few in there. So isn't this where it started getting contentious? So he cooks him up line. This guy comes from the blind side. And is like out in front of him. Question mark. Oh, we need to go back, don't we? Ooh, like he's quite in front of him, but he does spin him. I don't know, what are we saying, chat? Block or not? Or rather foul or not? What's saying? Every time he's caught it on this point, he's been traveling. I think, you know, It's just because the sand.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That's a good
I
grab.
wouldn't have got that, you know.
What happened there? Oh, Birds dropped it. That's crazy.
So slow. Definitely picked that up.
Jeez.
I want to say 9.
Respectfully, if that's the matchup, I'm throwing it. But I don't know where 61 was. Oh, you silly dingus.
Catch those.
Yeah. All caps, look at that travel. Nah, come on. Give him a break. Man, the scenery was so fucking lush at this tournament as well. I wish I had the other... I always like position myself in like the upwind end zone, I think. And... Oh, delish. But like, look at that. That's streamy. Look at that. Oh. The other way though looked even better. Legit. Bro, he's on sand. It can't be defended. Jamie trying his best out to get Christian back involved. Hard agree. Highly faking the hook. She's 10 yards out though. What? A maximum of 2 rotations in that, let me tell you. I enjoy the what I just described as the telephone booth reset there from Christian, where he just gets in close.
That's a double team. Question mark.
Yeah. Right. Another foul or not?
That's a double team.
Yeah, Loki, that's a double team. Alright. Oh, way to milk it. That's done a bit of work. Do we think this is a foul or not? So they're both kind of moving. GB definitely moving less. Load of contact, but I think the Belgian guy gets to it first. Now I know it's not USA, but I can kind of see... Honestly, I'd be super happy if they chose to only ever host beach champs at Portimao. Yeah, like, legit. Such a good venue. Yeah. Yeah. Hard agree. At this point, like it's hard to tell how much contact there is there, sort of thing. But I think, does he hit Jack's left side? Or I think it might have even started before that, right? So like on the reset. So he's obviously checked first GB player. And then he comes in, like, it's very physical when it comes back in play. Like, you can see, like, the shoulder to shoulder. Jack swims him. And then, like, I don't know, like, yeah. It's hard to know. My only question is whether there's contact on the... Is the contact on the legs? Maybe a little contact on the legs? And maybe contact on the like, I don't know to how much extent there's contact there on the left. Because Jack's leg movement's weird there, but maybe it's just because he realized he had to go back for it. Anyway, we are now on the third call with this dude on this one pass. And crazy to think, as soon as they got the disc off the sideline, they were able to score, take a 2-point lead. It's really hard to tell, I agree. he's actually miles away. Everyone shouting at Jamie to work. It is a waste of your breath. Jamie will do what Jamie does. And you'll be happy for what you get. Okay. For a second I thought Sonny absolutely trucked Potter. But she also bids on the force. Yeah. There was a decent number of Belgian fans. It wasn't just like other teams and stuff, and they made a lot of noise, is what I'd say. Good edge on that.
Come on, Andy. Oh, the train has been derailed.
Not quite sure what that celly was, but we'll take it.
Been derailed. Come on, Andy. Come on, Andy. Oh, the train has been derailed.
I think that's one of those that he's buzzing that he's won the game, but doesn't really know what to do it himself. Good win, good win. This has come up again. Go on, Fee. Legend. Right. To that end. Where are we at? Cool. Well, thank you for joining this week. I'm going to wrap it up. But this has been chill. Thank you if you've stuck around. Have enjoyed the chats. Have enjoyed your company and your hot takes. We'll be back next week. The day on which I stream will probably be a bit flexible for a few weeks, just between trial starting up, my availability, trying to get my runs in, work. But yeah, I'll post up. Keep an eye on the social. Yes, thank you. And obviously, if you haven't already, give us a follow. Subscribe on the YouTubes. Subscribe here on Twitch. And I will see you all next week when we might do a live edit rather than watching the pre-edits. But we'll see what we do. We've got options. Anyway, thank you very much, and I will be seeing you. Doodles.